When did 30 parents storm into the principal's office together? I was sitting in detention that Thursday afternoon, October 15th, when 30 parents marched through Jefferson Middle School's front entrance like they were going to war. From my seat in the waiting area outside Principal Morrison's office, where Mrs. Coleman could watch me through her glass partition, I had a front row view to something that would change everything. The parents moved as one unit, faces hard with determination. Mrs. Coleman's coffee mug froze halfway to her lips, then crashed onto her desk when she saw them. Before she could even stand, Mrs. Liu at the front of the group announced they were here to see Morrison immediately. All of them, right now. Morrison emerged from his office still chewing his lunch, probably expecting maybe one or two upset parents about homework or bullying. His face went from confused to pale when he saw the crowd. Perhaps we should schedule individual meetings, he tried, using his administrator voice, but Mrs. Liu cut him off cold. We're done with individual meetings. We're done with emails that go nowhere. We're done with you ignoring what's happening in this school. The way she said it made my detention suddenly the most interesting place in the building. They filed into the conference room next to Morrison's office, and through the floor-to-ceiling windows that lined the hallway, I could see everything unfold like a movie. Some parents had to stand because there weren't enough chairs. Morrison kept trying to take control, asking them to sign in, follow procedures, but they walked past Mrs. Coleman's desk like she was invisible. My mom was in that crowd, third row from the front, arms crossed, wearing her serious face. She'd told me she had errands after lunch, but here she was, ready for battle. Through the glass, I watched Morrison fumble with papers, while Mrs. Liu pulled a thick folder from her bag. She started laying out documents on the conference table, one by one, methodical and deliberate. Each paper made Morrison sink lower in his chair. Other parents were pulling out phones, tablets, printed emails, building this mountain of evidence on the table. I couldn't hear everything through the glass, but certain words carried systematic, negligence, cover-up, and then one that made my stomach drop like I was on a roller coaster. Mr. Brennan. Mr. Brennan taught 8th grade history. He was one of those teachers parents loved because he assigned tons of homework and ran his classroom like boot camp. Kids had a different opinion. There was something off about him, especially with the girls. The way he'd lean over their desks during tests, breathing on their necks. How he'd keep certain students after class for extra help that never seemed to help. His comments about girls' appearances that danced on the edge of inappropriate but never quite crossed the line enough to report. At least, that's what we thought. I pressed closer, to the glass, trying to hear better. Mrs. Ramirez was standing now, holding up her phone, showing something that made several parents gasp and cover their mouths. Morrison's assistant, Mrs. Coleman, noticed me watching and started to shoo me back to my seat, but she was distracted too, stealing glances at the conference room. She knew something huge was happening. The normal Thursday afternoon quiet had shattered. Teachers were poking their heads out of classrooms, wondering what was going on. 20 minutes in, Morrison tried to leave the room, maybe to call for help or buy time, but Mr. Nakamura, whose daughter Yuki was in my grade, stood in front of the door, not threatening, just standing there with his arms folded, immovable as a mountain. Morrison said something about calling the district office, and Mrs. Liu responded by pulling out her phone and putting it on speaker. I have Superintendent Wallace on the line, she said, and Morrison's face went from pale to bright